Shalom. I want to say all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that rule well. And salutations to you brothers that's pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth. Alright, I want to get into this quick lesson. Hopefully, Lord willing, it's edifying, alright? I'm going to get into this lesson about this video I was watching the other day. It was a debate about, transgenderism and stuff like that, and when you get to the deeper aspects of it, I like to always say it's not really about homosexuality or anything like that. It's not really about, what they say in the forefront. It's more witchcraft behind all that, and the scriptures break it down, quite well, everything is written. So let's just jump into this is one more thing about that video. One of the main points, that there was one guy on this video that was, basically fighting for the truth, and what he was saying was that you're trying to get me to believe, your nonsense, So the circumstance was, you have let's say a man, right, that identifies himself and believes himself to be a woman, okay? And so this guy is dressed up as a woman, he believes himself to be a woman. So he wants the other people to address him as a woman, as a female, and with those so-called those names, she, her, those type of things, And with the one guy, his name is Ben Shapiro. What he was saying was, at the end of the day, what you're trying to get me to do is to believe your delusion. If you delusional about something, that's just you. You could believe in whatever wickedness, that you believe in, but don't try to impose that on me. And basically it's I forgot what kind of disorder he said that it was or whatever, but and I like to say that as well with a lot of other things, because it's the same witchcraft that people try to pull. It's not about the homosexuality, it's about, what he was saying. You want me to believe your delusion, and you want me to believe what you think is right. And I always tell people, when people say, well, however it makes you feel, whatever you believe is right, that's kind of like that Crowley Christianity, do thou wilt. But when people like, however it makes you feel and what you believe is right, and I would always respond to them, well, if I believe I have $1 billion in the bank, and I try to go and spend that or withdraw that, what does the bank tell? How are they going to look at me? They're going to look at me like I'm crazy. If I try to go and sign a check for, as if I'm Donald Trump, or walk into the White House because I believe that I'm Donald Trump, and I want you guys to address me as Donald Trump and as the President of the United States, how are people, they're going to put me in an asylum saying I'm crazy, But at the same time, it's the principle of it, at the same time you want me to believe, again, something that's not real, something delusional, that's you're delusional about. If you're a man and you identify yourself as a female because you feel like a female, doesn't make you a female, but you want me to believe that delusion. And he was bringing up the facts that no matter how you feel, the fact of the matter is, you can define what a man is and what a woman is, a female and a male. It's something called chromosomes. You got I believe it's the XY and the XX chromosome. Male has one type, it has both types, and the females have only one type. So genetically, no matter what you put on the outside of it, it's still what it is on the inside. You still have male DNA. No matter how you try to dress it up, all the DNA on the inside of your body is still male DNA, And so he was trying to get into that. And when you see it that way, no matter how you want to call it, you could break it down to somebody's feelings, how they believe and what they want to believe. All of that is just a witchcraft to cover your eyes, to blind you. But at the end of the day, it, like he said, the facts of the facts is, your DNA, basically solidifies this is what this is, and that's what that is, So jumping into the scripture to break down basically what he was saying, we're going to go to Romans chapter 2, and I'm going to start at Romans chapter 1, verse 18. For the wrath of the Most High is revealed from the heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness, okay? So that's what they're getting at to, who hold the truth in unrighteousness, okay? No matter what the truth is, you want me to believe your delusionalism, okay? So you believe that you feel like you were female, you was born genetically a man, and you feel like you're a female, you want me to believe and address you like that. You want me to become as delusional as you. You want me to believe your lies that you have these spirits on you. You want me to come under these same spirits that you under, You want me to partake in that, instead of just calling a spade, So it says, verse 19, because that which may be known of because that which may be known of Yahweh is manifest in them. Okay, for Yahweh has showed it unto them. Okay, it says, for the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even the eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Okay, and a simple way to break that down is for instance, this paint that's in the background, right? This is made up of elements. Your whole body's made up of elements. Everything's got atoms, elements, and stuff like that. But you can't see that with your naked eye. But it doesn't mean that it's not there. Without the elements to make up this paint, you wouldn't see the paint. So there's no excuse. You have all these things, like everything in the world, like the systems of the world is all perfect. Everything is perfect. It's without excuse. For you to believe that the Big Bang Theory and all that stuff just magically happened, everything, the earth just so happened to get the right distance away from the sun to sustain life and didn't move any further from that, and spinning right at the right speed, and the water cycles are just perfect, the temperature's just right, all that stuff lined up just perfectly, and the so-called first human beings, they knew that they had to reproduce, they knew what they had to eat to sustain life and stuff like that, and they just spawned together instead of killing each other, and we all got here. If you believe all of that, that takes way more faith than the things like the scripture says here, because that which may be known of the Most High is manifested in them, for God has showed it unto them. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen. It's clearly being seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and the Godhead, so that they're without excuse. Okay? Because that when they knew the Most High, they glorified him not as the Most High, neither were they thankful. Okay? So just like in modern days today, it's kind of crazy that they believe in the Big Bang Theory and call that science. But, science means to know. Theory means something that you think. It's not necessarily a fact. So they believe in a theory and claim that to be science. So how can you think of something, I'm not sure about it, but you state it as a fact, And it's like, it says, because when they knew the Most High, they glorified him not as the Most High, neither were they thankful. There's another scripture about, they forsook the living waters, and created cisterns that can't hold water, and that goes hand in hand with the birds that they don't worry about their food and stuff, man starts preparation, and basically like Esau's trying to be the Most High, trying to create weather modification, trying to do all kind of crazy stuff because they want to be the provider and things like that, because they want to pretend like there's no Most High to do all these things for them, so they want to play that role. Okay, it says neither were they thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish hearts was darkened. Okay, so the Most High is putting this darkness. He darkened their hearts, because they were foolish and they didn't, basically, how do you say, acknowledge the Most High. It says, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. Okay, and I find it funny that they use the word professing, just like when you go to college, they have these professors that's teaching you all, they're brainwashing you, with all this wickedness, they profess, professor, what does he do? He's professing. It says professing themselves to be wise. You go to the wise men today, you go to college, get your degree from these wise men who profess all these theories and hypotheses about, well, we think that, homosexuality is something that you could be born with, it could be a genetic trait, all these wicked things they come up with, they come up with papers to so-called validate it, professing themselves to be wise, they become fools, It says, verse 23, and change the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image made like to corruptible man, and the birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. Okay, people start worshiping the things, instead of saying what the Most High gave us, like the commandments, these scriptures, they want to go off of what man says, People always like to say, oh, you believe in that book? That was written by men. But yet every law in the United States that people follow is basically on paper written by a man, and corruptible man at that, The Most High created the heavens and the earth, and ain't nothing wrong with that. But all the things that man touches is all corruptible, you see? It says, verse 24, wherefore the Most High gave them up, okay? He gave them up to uncleanliness through the lust of their own hearts, okay? So they wanted to keep doing this crazy, this foulness, So the Most High was like, all right, man, you want to keep doing that? I'm going to let you do that. But I'm going to turn you up, so you're going to sit there and you're going to do it to the max. I'm show you how stupid this is, okay? It says, wherefore the Most High gave them up to uncleanliness through the lust of their own hearts, okay? To do what they wanted to do in their own minds. to dishonor, okay, to dishonor, not to honor, but to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, okay? Now, there's a lot of things that people do to dishonor themselves between themselves. One of the things I could think of, which is such a, just, you know, you could tell that these people, the Most High gave them up, you see, and blinded them because of the fact of, you have two so-called lesbians who profess that they don't want to be with a man, they don't like men, they prefer a woman, but they'll go and get a strap-on or dildo or sex toys that's modeled after men's genitalia and use that. So how confusing is that, you know? That's just, or you'll have one of them that'll be like, you know, taking the manly role, dressing up like a man, talking with a deep voice like a man, but yet she don't want to be with a man. But the chick that she's with also don't want to be with a man, but she's with a female that acts just like a man, that talks like a man, is acting like a man, you know? It says also, you know, they dishonor themselves between their own bodies, you know? They, you know, again, these women putting this plastic inside of them instead of plastic and rubber inside of them instead of, you know, the male anatomy, what it was made for and created for, you know? They also going into sodomy, you see what I'm saying? They dishonoring their bodies between themselves, okay? It says, who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, okay? The Most High said, you know, that man shall not lie with mankind like he lies with a woman, you know? That's an abomination. You know, if a man lie with another man, they both supposed to be put to death, you know? Same with the woman. Who changed the truth to the Most High and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forevermore. Okay, and that video was going straight into that. You had a panel full of people with this debate, and you only basically had one guy arguing a righteous argument comparably to the other people on the panel. You know, it says, who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator. Okay, they want to go off of what these people's feelings are. They have feelings, they have this, they have that. Well, what about the other people's feelings that you're putting down? You know, when they talk about hate speech, well, what you trying to silence me? That might be hate speech. So they worshiping the creature more than the Creator. These people, and they're. Let me go back up one time. It says, these are the people who, it says, they worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, and this is the creature they're serving. Okay, in verse 22 it says, professing themselves to be wise, they become fools. This is the creature they start to worship. These fools who profess themselves to be wise. These wise men. This college doctrine. This Babylonian doctrine that they putting out. Okay, it says, wherefore the Most High gave them up to uncleanliness through the lust of their own body, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. Okay, so this is the creature that they're worshiping more than the Creator. Okay, these vile people. Okay, so the next verse says, verse 26, for this cause the Most High gave them up to a vile affection. Okay, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. Okay, so the Most High gave them up to a vile affections, you know, to do some vile, nasty shit, you know, like, okay, you want to do that, we're going to let you do that then, you know what I'm saying? But that's just nasty, you know, you got all these feces and stuff like that, people in the sodomy, you see what I'm saying? Like, this is just utter wickedness, and like it says, the woman did change the natural use of the woman, you know? Instead, she changed the natural use of her vagina all up, you know? The vagina was made for a penis to go into, but nowadays she's sticking, you know, vibrators and dildos made out of plastic and rubber in there, you know? And she's also got another woman all in her and stuff like that, you know? And they also, instead of using her vagina, she's using her anus and sodomy, you see? So they did change the natural use. And also a woman is supposed to, how do you say, the incubation chamber for a man to put the seed inside of. But nowadays they're not wanting to have those babies. They want to be with another woman. They can't reproduce. Men want to be with men. That's unnatural. It's going against nature. Okay? And verse 27, and likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves the recompense of error which was meet. Okay, now this scripture is a lot in there. It says, like I just said, likewise the men, leaving the natural use of the woman. Again, the penis is naturally fit to go inside the vagina. Okay, the vagina self lubricates itself for the penis to go in there, whereas in sodomy it's not like that. You see. Also, the man is supposed to put his sperm inside of the woman's vagina, therefore creates a baby. But nowadays they're not doing that. Men, excuse me, brothers, but you know, men are partaking in homosexual activities with other men. You know, and you could just imagine, you know, how unnatural that is. You know, what they doing with that. You know, same with women. Women are so-called just getting off with other women, and there's no so-called men's sperm to sperm isn't there to impregnate that woman. That's unnatural, And they're also putting these sex objects inside of them, which is unnatural. It says and they're also getting into the sodomy, But it says burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly. Okay, which is unseemly. Like, listen. First of all, not promoting sodomy, but a female has the same she has a rectum like a man does, If that was what you was gonna do, why not at least get a female? You see what I'm saying? And if you was gonna go that route, well, she has something that's gonna lubricate itself and is made and fit for your genitalia to go into. So, first of all, it's unseemly to partake into something that with somebody of your same sex, you know what I'm saying, when you could go to a female for that. And not only if you're gonna go to that female, why would you go into a dry place that's not made for your genitalia to go into when she has one that's like not even less than a inch away? You see what I'm saying? It lubricates itself, is made for you and everything. You know what I'm saying? It's just there, working that which is unseemly. And it also says, and receiving in themselves that recompense of error which was meat. Okay, like I said, there's a lot of inside of your rectum is where, when you pass your stool or whatever, however you want to say it, trying to speak politely, in that area, it strips like a lot of the nutrients and stuff out of your body. You know what I'm saying? So that's like a filter of your body. Things going to your bloodstream around there. It's getting all the nutrients and the vitamins out and stuff like that. But first of all, we're not even gonna get into it. You brothers already know just how vile and fucked up that is. Basically, excuse my language, but just it's vexing thinking about it and trying to break the shit down. But anyway, they receiving in them the air that's not meat. These STDs, AIDS, all these other things, because you going into a place where you filtering out bacterias and stuff like that. And with the opening at the end of your genitalia, it's just receiving all of that. And that's just not. It's just not. It's just wicked, basically. At the end of the day, that shit's just wicked. And even further, to sit there and try to promote this for little kids, a little kid saying that they're transgender and all this. Again, this is all not really about none of this stuff. It's all at the end of the day, because if you stop using these words that they put up, this witchcraft stuff, they got so-called, they taking power away from certain words and giving power to other words. They're saying, these young kids, they're transgender. You got this little boy or this transgender individual named Jazz, right? And this little person was transgender since like the age of 7, And at the end of all of that, at the end of the day, what we're really talking about is that this, I believe it was a little boy at first. This little boy is saying that, at the age of 7, that he would prefer, sexually in the bedroom to have another man penetrate him in his rectum. Now, we could use a lot worse words than that, just to pull it all out, to see what we're really talking about, Talking about a 7-year-old little boy who's saying that he should have the right to publicly have another man penetrate him, or vice versa. And my question is, how does this little boy at 7 years old know about this? How does he know about sex and stuff like this? Who's telling him about this? This is how wicked this is, and people, again, like this video I was watching, they want you to believe this. They want you to turn a blind eye, and believe all and take into this wickedness. But you can't make me believe this some little 7-year-old kid, you know what I'm saying, if that's what he's choosing, his preference. He didn't try all the vagina he could try in his life, and he don't want that. You know what I'm saying? He would rather be penetrated or something else by another man. But anyway, it says, verse 28, and even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. Like I just said, he gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which is not convenient. A little 7-year-old child saying that he'd rather be penetrated in the anus by another man. Come on, think about it. Who's really doing this, Who's saying, like, and you have a big push with this transgender, LGBTQT, whatever the fuck community, spreading amongst these youth. People who really shouldn't really be having a sexual activity going on in their life anyway, especially in this society, because they're easily influenced by any and everything, They'll tell a little young kid, a 5 to 7-year-old little kid, little Johnny, because he like playing with all his little guy friends, male friends, because you so-called enjoy hanging out with them, that you might like guys. Like, nah, we boys, we like hanging out with boys. Even when you get older, men like hanging out with men don't mean that they're attracted to them, This is verse 29. Being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of the Most High, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, okay? Evil things that a 7-year-old could tell you that he prefer to have another man enter his anus with his penis. You know, that's what he want to do, and he want to dress up like a female and become basically role playing sex like he a female to a man who wants to have sex with another man. You know what I mean? This is what they want you to believe in. It is wickedness. This is inventors of evil thing, you know, that a child could come up with this on their own without no influence, and that's what they want, and that we should take that child's word, you know. But at the same time, you know, a child is irresponsible to make certain decisions until they're a certain age. They can't buy tobacco products till they're 18. They can't buy alcoholic products till they're 21. They can't enlist into the military and go fight for this country until they're 18, you know. They can't go get a tattoo until they're 18. They can't and they can't be held responsible to go to let's say adult jail until they're like 18. They can't even go to juvenile I believe till they're 16. So they're not old enough to be making responsible decisions up until, let's say, the age of 16. But at the age of 5 and elementary school, we're talking about elementary school kids here, that, you know, they want to be transgender. They need a tranny bathroom and stuff like that because they're coming out of the closet because they're gay. You know, the one thing that makes you gay is just the act of, you know, a homosexual sexual act. You know what I'm saying? Like a man penetrating another man. So for you to tell me that a 5-year-old or somebody in the 5th grade is a homosexual, you letting me know, if it's a boy, that another man has penetrated him in his anus. That's what we're really talking about. And if that's the case, then we need to talk to this other man who's penetrating this little boy and get them arrested for pedophilia. And not only that, destroying this young child's mind. But see, they don't want to talk about that. They use these words like transgenderism, homosexuality, and alternative lifestyles, and transgender, all kind of stupid shit. But what we're really talking about, these are these evil inventions that the scripture's talking about. But what we're really talking about is these people whose mind was given over to their vile affections, whose hearts was turned to darkness. They was professing themselves to be wise. They got all the right ideals and just let everybody do everything. But look at what's happening. Okay? It says, verse 31, it says, hold on, I didn't skip the verse. I think I skipped verse 30. Backbiters, haters of the Most High, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents. Verse 31, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection. You know, men don't like men no more, or men don't like women no more. Women don't like men no more. You know, men are in love with men. You know, men want to. You know, there was another video that the Akim sent me the other day about basically this straight gang banging street thug ass nigga, right? You know, somebody that, and the guy that was filming him was talking about, you know, nobody in the hood would mess with him because he was known in the hood for putting in that work, you know. And we're not putting, you know, we're not glorifying his activities or anything like that, but, you know, he was wicked. But still yet, you know, you had another wicked, you know, Israelite condemning, you know, an even more wicked one. First of all, he was gangbanging and doing all that stuff, but now he got turned out and he wearing some like green pants and a halter top, you know, looking like he literally just lost his mind. Like the Most High just destroyed him completely, you know. This is what you the fear of the Most High. This guy went from a straight thug gangbanging ass nigga out there catching bodies type of shit, where people scared of him in the street, to just looking like a straight, worse than just like a drag queen or something like that, you know. And the guy that was talking to him felt bad for him. You could see in the guy who had been converted, I guess, in his eyes, he was ashamed of it. He was like, and he was in the gang, the Vice Lords. He was like, you know, he still do this and that. And the guy was like, the reason they don't mess with you is because you messing with them sometime on the low, you know, and which is true because they all doing that stuff in, you know, in the cut, you know. These people are destroyed. They was given over to, you know, to they, you know, they wicked minds and doing whatever they want. Change the truth of the Most High into a lie. Turn, you know, and worship and serve the creature more than the creator. They believing off of all this wickedness that these people in the world are telling you, what Esau's telling you. They're not believing in the scriptures of what the Most High say. The Most High say homosexuality is an abomination, but you say if that's the way he was born, let him do him, you know. Last verse, verse 32. Who knowing the judgment of the Most High, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. Okay, that's not necessarily saying that if you're not a homosexual, you know, when you see two homosexual men, you know, engaging in a homosexual acts that you sitting there cheering them on. No, that's not necessarily saying that. That's saying, you know, even if you like you know, you see Jim and John over there, they hear about them, they homosexuals, and you like, well, that's Jim and John, I don't really care, that's them, let them do them. You know, it's the same thing as saying that you know, do the same, but you have pleasure in them that do them, you know, because you don't really care, you let them do them. You know, in righteousness, the Most High say, love the good and hate the evil, you know. The Most High say that they supposed to be put to death. Not saying that we're supposed to put anybody to death, because we, you know, this ain't our kingdom. We ain't in our kingdom, you know, and that would be against the Most High to be, you know, taking part in that. But at the same time, you condemn them. You cast out their judgment. Let the Most High put in that work for them, you know. That time is coming soon anyway, so they all about to get, you know, put in their position, put to death. So, you know, just, you know, a quick synopsis of this lesson, you know, a lot of this stuff is more, you know, yeah, it's the homosexuality in there, but it's a deeper thing behind that. You want me to believe into your wickedness too, okay? And this can go all over the board, because you don't believe in the Most High. You want to come up with all these things, oh, the Big Bang Theory and all this and all of that. You want me to believe that. You know, you come out with all these documentaries about how this is fake, this fake, that's fake. Oh, you believe that men wrote the Bible. Yeah, men did write the Bible, inspired by the Most High, you know, holy men, the prophets, you know. And, you know, it's basically that. You just, you know, Esau does all this and all his stuff with all his indoctrination. You know, he wants you to believe that Greece was the beginning of civilization, and that all things come from him, and that he's the Most High. He, you know, covered the faces of the judges so we would worship him. But, you know, if we believe that lie, you know, that he's delusional, okay? And if you believe that same delusional lie, it's just like Yahweh Shah. I mean, if you believe in first of all, he painted up Jesus. Esau painted Jesus, you know, and created Jesus. And if you believe into that, you know, basically the Most High is going to give you up to that, you know, and that's just what's going to be it. But at the same time, you not supposed to, you call him out on his wickedness. Like in that video with Dr. Ben Shapiro, he says, you know, basically you want me to believe in your delusionalism, you know, because you delusional, you feel more comfortable. If I believe that too, it make you feel more comfortable, because you don't want to feel stupid. You know you're doing wickedness. This is why these homosexuals want to keep things in the closet. They want people to, when people accept their wickedness, then they want to come out of the closet, because they want them to accept that basically that demonic spirit that the Most High put on them, you know. But you know, the men of the Lord, they're not gonna accept that. They're gonna keep, you know, pronouncing judgment on these wicked people, you know. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, you know, and you know, pray that we hasten the day that Yahweh shall come and return and bring us up out of this, because this is just wickedness, you know. When we debating whether or not that elementary schools need tranny bathrooms, you know, what are we really saying there? We're not talking about trannies. We're not talking about elementary schools being trannies. What we're talking about is somebody wanting to, you know, to sexually penetrate another one of these children. Okay, that's what we're talking about. Whenever you hear the conversation about these kids becoming trannies or homosexuals or anything like that, what we're really talking about is somebody wanting to penetrate one of these little kids, you know, and they rectum. That's what we're talking about. At the end of the day, that's just what it is. It's not talking about they want rights, they have feelings, them getting bullied. It's not talking about none of that, you know. And if, you know, they start the conversation off, oh, these people get bullied, they commit suicide over this, and that. You know what? The reason they're getting bullied, like, that has nothing to do with it. What we need to be talking about is who is having sex with these little kids. You see, you can get off topic about the bullying and all that, but at the end of the day, let's call these demons out, you know. Like I said, Lord willing, I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to say all praise to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well, that taught me this truth. Much love to you brothers pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth. I also want to say Kram Yasha Allah, which means rise, O Israel. You know, until you newcomer brothers is coming into this truth right now. Say, you know, pray for more faith, stay in the truth, and, you know, pray and hasten the day we get up out of here. Shalom.